Okay. So some of you are going to be joining me on Facebook, and some of you are here on Zoom. And some of you are not here tonight, and that's perfectly fine. I will send out the recorded replay of this guided meditation, and I'll also send out the text of the new moon intentions that I have written. Hey, Stephanie, over on Facebook land. and um, I'll send out the text as well if you're a visual person like I am and you want to go back and maybe reread these for yourself. I didn't even realize when I scheduled this live session, our first live session for the very first inaugural round of the Shadow and Light journey. I had no idea that this is actually the new moon in Scorpio. And so it's actually astrologically a very, very potent time to be doing shadow work. So it does not matter whether you are still in the very first module of the course or if you're like weeks and weeks into it. No matter where you are on this journey, you're right on target, you're right on time, and this really, really is a wonderful time of year to be diving into the depths of your own soul and your own psyche. So, yes. Oh, good. Thank you, Charles. I'm so glad that going at your own pace is helpful. I know for myself that when I do online courses, I really love the self-study module, but I also love the live components because it helps just to keep the energy up. And yes, you're right, Stephanie, there are no accidents. It's amazing how that all worked out, that this is the new moon. So I've actually created a guided meditation for us tonight with the energies of this new moon. And if you're not weirdly into astrology like I am, that's perfectly fine. New moons are wonderful times to align with the natural rhythms of the earth, and the moon is always evolving. And in our culture, we are so ingrained to always be going, 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 pushing, 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 striving all the time. You guys know this. This is one of the reasons why you might have signed up for the course. And as you see in the very first few weeks of the course, we're working to really examine with compassion and start to lovingly dismantle some of those beliefs that might not actually be helpful for us. One of which is, of course, the hustle mode, the idea that we always have to be striving, that we always have to be accomplishing things, that, as you know, my homegirl Brene Brown says, we measure our self-worth with our productivity. I'm still working on that one. That's really hard for me. These programs are so deeply ingrained in us. And that's also why I think going at your own pace and really taking the time to let yourself marinate and dig into these modules and these lessons. Shadow work is actually a slow process. I know we also live in a culture that just absolutely loves quick fixes. But there really is no such thing as a quick fix when it comes to our spiritual evolution. So it takes time. And that's actually one of the big reasons why I created this course, was so that people could really dig in. I know a lot of you know, and some of you have attended the in-person workshops that I was leading with Ashley in Tampa at the Lotus Pond and the Body Electric in St. Pete. And they were wonderful, but it was kind of like after a few hours on a Saturday afternoon, we're just scratching the surface of getting into our stories and all of the cultural myths that are influencing us. So If you do have any questions, of course, feel free to either ask me now, or please, you can always reach out to me. I am here for you. And I am continuously going through my own shadow work journey and peeling back layer after layer after layer. So if at a certain point you're even just like, I feel crazy doing all this stuff, I get to a certain level and I think I've, examined all I can, and then I find this new layer of fear or another block that I didn't even know existed because it was covered up by other blocks. If you get to that point, because I've been there, you can always just shoot me an email or shoot me a Facebook message or an Instagram DM. Whatever way you want to reach out is cool. But just know that I am here for you. And yeah, I'm here for you. So we can get to our guided meditation this evening, and I invite you to get comfortable wherever you are in a nice posture with the spine elevated. And we'll just take a breath and roll the shoulders up and back and down a couple of times. This new moon is the point in the lunar cycle where the moon actually goes into darkness. And so even though we have this cultural myth of always pushing, always striving, always working hard, the moon reminds us, nature reminds us that it's really important to slow down and pause and rest, and that there is just as much essentiality in going into the darkness, in not always being, at our full, shiniest self, that's actually not natural. And so give yourself this time tonight, this week, to rest, to just absorb. If you've been feeling a lot of the crazy energies that have been going on, know that you're not alone. This is a very cathartic time of year. It's also a wonderful time for the shadow because, of course, we are celebrating Halloween and this point in the year, this Scorpio season, astrologically too, where the veil is considered to be very thin from this realm to the next. And we can be more open to intuition and honoring all of those who have come before us, honoring your ancestors. And with that spirit in mind, I actually wanted to read to you a passage from one of my favorite astrologers, Chani Nicholas. She's amazing. You should totally follow her on Instagram and sign up for her emails. I love them. I can put them in the follow-up email with these links and all the other goodies. So this is from Chani Nicholas. It is up to us to break the spells that keep us asleep to our own magic. There are a million of them, from the systemic to the familial, to the cultural, to the personal, and back again. We are repeatedly told to quell our nature and conform, the most unnatural thing of all. Systems that perpetuate injustice don't want us to know ourselves. They don't want us to accept ourselves as we are, because when we do, we aren't very good consumers. How can we toe the line when we are able to draw our own? How can we be controlled when we refuse anyone else's narrative of our personhood or potential? How can those in power extract our talent for their profit if we take ourselves off the market? This new moon alerts us to the shadows that lurk in the landscapes of our lives. Which thieves steal our agency? Which monsters lurk just out of sight, scaring us out of realizing the fullness of our impact? What power do we give our fears? And how does doing so hold our potential hostage. And I love this passage so much. And I believe that the Course, the Shadow and Light journey, helps guide us through this process of systematically taking our fears into our arms, not shoving them further away into the recesses of our psyche where they only fester, not shaming ourselves, not punishing ourselves for all the times we didn't say the right thing, or we reacted out of strong emotion, or we gave in to our self-indulgences and not our self-disciplines. Instead of all of that shame, we can actually pour so much love and passion and vibrancy and a wholehearted, fierce embrace for all of who we are. And when we do that, then we not only honor our ancestors, but we cut ancestral patterns of shame and fear and unhelpful narratives that have been holding us back underneath the surface of our lives for not only our life, but for generations. In the first week of the course, we refer to this in the PDF, even in terms of how epigenetics plays in and how scientists can measure how stress and famine are written into the code of our DNA from generations that have come before us. So what better way this Halloween season to honor your ancestors by thanking them for all of the incredible hardships and work and love that they have sowed into their lives, and also moving forward and evolving and healing yourself. Because we know that when you heal yourself, you then expand your energy field and you're capable of healing not only everybody around you indirectly, but healing the patterns of the past as well. It's so powerful. So if you haven't already closed your eyes or relaxed your gaze, feel free to do so. And just begin to tune in a little deeper to the rhythm of your breath, in and out through the nose. Gently melt your awareness down your body from the crown of your head all the way down, softening the muscles in your face, relaxed in the jaw, across your shoulders. You might even imagine this extra dark night sky, the moon going into its own cocoon of darkness. Imagining this dark, powerful, moonless night gliding over you, relaxing across your shoulders and down your arms, through your palms, your fingertips. Sense into those gentle waves of the breath. Inhaling a little softness in the abdomen. Exhaling, just releasing. Let your awareness continue to glide down across your low back and your hips, down your legs, all the way through the soles of your feet. Thank yourself for making this time for yourself. This inward journey is the most valuable journey we can go on in our lives. This new moon in Scorpio is also a beautiful metaphor for the shadow work journey. The shadow, of course, represents the dark, the unconscious mind, the mysterious, the dark waters of the underworld. And there's nothing to fear about the shadows of our psyche. There's nothing to fear in the underworld. The archetype of the zodiac sign, Scorpio, represents that courageous energy that is willing to look beneath the shiny surface of the greater culture and to get to what's real, to get to the heart of what's real, to what matters. The Scorpio energy that we all possess and can all tap into, this archetypal energy, is one that is willing to do the work, to look within. And so, with this connection to your breath, the waves of the breath riding in and out, I'll share some intentions for the new moon, for your shadow work journey. The new moon is a wonderful time to set new intentions, to reconnect and realign to our good habits, our good decisions, to plant new seeds. Feel free to mentally repeat these new moon intentions after me. I am able to show up with honesty and compassion for myself. I wade into the waters of my unconscious. I ask for kindness and courage when looking into the wounded, unhealed aspects of myself. I receive the gift of my own intuition. I ask for the strength and clarity to hear my own inner wisdom beneath the noise of the world. I receive all of the energetic support, well wishes, and love from others that I've never fully allowed myself to feel and hold. I let their love wash over me. I am willing to receive. Breathe into your heart. Creating spaciousness as you inhale, softness as you exhale. I am grateful. I am grateful for any person, situation, space, or animal who's ever shown me love, friendliness, and support along the path. I am grateful to my teachers. I am grateful for the situations that have pushed me into uncomfortable confrontations with the truth. I am grateful for the scenarios that have squeezed me past my comfort zones and made me stronger in the end. I am grateful for my own inner teacher, my own inner wisdom, for nudging me along this winding, wild ride of life. I am grateful for my body. I am grateful for this breath. I am grateful for this journey. I am grateful to my spirit. I am grateful for my willingness to learn and heal my innermost dimensions. And if you'd like, feel free to either bring your palms together at your heart, or one palm directly on the heart, one hand on the low belly. Sending yourself the gift of gratitude. Breathing in and breathing out. Honoring the darkness within you. We know that the shadow holds so much more than our perceived fears and shame. Your shadow holds your innermost power, your treasured gifts, your unique genius. And in order to receive your unique genius and really allow your full potential to shine through you, we have to also honor and embrace the fullness of who we are, honor and embrace the fullness of who you are. Take a few more deep breaths. Slowing down, smoothing out the edges of the breath. And if your hands are in either position, you can gently release them. If your eyes were closed, feel free to gently reopen them. It might feel good to stretch a little bit, maybe roll the shoulders around slowly. Take a few deep, refreshing breaths. And I hope that this brief guided meditation was helpful for you, giving you an opportunity to really connect inward to yourself. And there is another exercise if you haven't gotten to the section in the course yet where we write love letters to our shadow. I actually also have published a much shorter version of that module on my blog, on my website. In the course, the PDF goes much deeper. But you can always look at the blog. I can send that along in the old follow-up email as well. And this week is a really wonderful time to engage in that practice. Even if you're not there yet in the course, it's cool, I won't tell, you can skip ahead. Write a love letter to your shadow. Write a love letter to an aspect of yourself that you don't immediately, celebrate and cherish. Like when somebody asks you, tell me about yourself, you probably wouldn't list one of these things. Like, oh, well, I'm very often riddled with self-doubt. It's not like your job interview material. But it's also an important aspect of yourself that deserves healing and deserves attention. So by writing a love letter to this aspect of yourself that you have banished, that you have exiled and labeled unconsciously as unworthy, not good enough, we can use language, we can use our own power of storytelling to bring that aspect back in, to bring it back into the fold, into the bigger family, the bigger picture of who you really are, because you are all of it. You're the moon when it's in its fullness and it's shining in the night sky. You're the moon in its stage when it appears vacant in the night sky as well, and it returns to the ground of its being, that fertile, rich, dark soil. You're all of it. And isn't that magical? So, yeah, I hope that this was helpful to you. And I hope that the journey is filled with insight and aha moments and who knows, maybe even some laughter, shadow work. I know it sounds dark, obviously, but it doesn't have to be. It can be lighthearted because we know that this is the good work, the going into the depths of our own being makes us more resilient. It makes us more authentic. It makes us more fully who we are. So I'm so, so grateful to you to be on this journey, and to be your companion, to be your friend on this journey. So again, if you do have any questions at all, about the course, about any of the modules, about any of the practices or the techniques or the yogas, or if you're, engaging in other shadow work in your life, maybe not directly related to the course, but maybe other things are happening correlated to shadow integration, you can always reach out to me, and I'm here to chat. So I wish you all a very, very peaceful and new moon in Scorpio evening. Maybe take an Epsom salt bath, light your incense, light your candles, get some rest. You deserve it. You deserve to rest. You don't have to always be go, 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 push, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. You need the rest. It's important. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so deeply grateful to all of you who are able to join live, either via Facebook, hello, or on the Zoom. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Ryan. And of course, all of the participants who are going to watch this afterwards. I so, so appreciate all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How many more times can I say thank you? I'll keep saying it. That's my meditation. It's a good meditation. If you ever need a mantra, you can't think of one, just go with thank you. I thank you. Have a beautiful evening, everybody. Good night.